Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Scott's Thoughts. I'm Scott Benedict. I read a terrific article recently in the Atlantic magazine that described Costco as an American achievement. Now, as someone who's spent a lifetime in retailing, much of it competing directly against or with Costco, that framing of the article really resonated with me. Early in my career, I competed against Costco while I was with Sam's Club, with Pace Membership Warehouse, and at the Warehouse Club. I didn't just admire Costco from a distance, I respected them directly from across the aisle. And I think that perspective matters because when you compete head to head against someone for years and years, you quickly learn what's hype and what's real when companies write articles or publications write articles about them. And while the article gets directly into this topic, the view that the author is making, I happen to agree with, is that Costco's success isn't accidental and it isn't flashy. It's about clarity and it's about discipline. Costco's always been crystal clear about who their member is, what value it promises, how it makes money, and just as importantly, what it refuses to chase after. Now, that clarity shows up everywhere, from its very disciplined, limited SKU count to the caps it puts on product profit margins to the way that they treat suppliers and their own employees. Now, as a competitor, that consistently can be frustrating sometimes because it works. As a merchant, it's admirable because it's hard sometimes. Now, that's something that many retailers, I think, underestimate. Costco's model is incredibly difficult to replicate, not because of its complexity, but because it demands a type of discipline every single day. They don't win by squeezing suppliers to the breaking point, although I can assure you they are very tough negotiators. They win by building trust and long-term relationships with their suppliers. They don't optimize for short-term profit spikes. They optimize for membership loyalty or member loyalty over decades. They don't overwhelm their members with choice. They curate relentlessly and stand behind those choices. The lesson here is simple but powerful. Trust compounds. Trust with members, trust with their suppliers, and trust with the investment community. And once that trust is earned, it becomes the strongest of competitive moats in retail. Why is Costco's success relevant right now? Well, we're in a retail environment where consumers are hyper-focused on value, perhaps now more than ever. Loyalty in the current market is fragile. Costs are very high. And many retailers are chasing innovation before fixing the fundamentals in their business. And this article in Costco's performance over the years reminds us that you don't innovate your way out of weak execution. You execute your way into permission to innovate. And their success, in my mind, is proof that simplicity scales, focus beats fragmentation, and doing fewer things exceptionally well still wins. That's a lesson every retailer, whether it's another wholesale club, grocery, apparel, electronics, they can all learn from. So some of the takeaways I kind of got or were reminded of in this article is, in my own experience competing against Costco, it really comes down to this. Retail leadership isn't about being the loudest, the fastest, the trendiest player in the market. It's about being the most consistent. Costco doesn't try and impress you every quarter. They earn your trust on every visit to one of their warehouse locations. And in retail, that might be the most sustainable strategy of all. Costco isn't a model every retailer can copy, but the principles behind their success are absolutely transferable in my mind. Clarity, discipline, trust, long-term decision-making. These aren't old school ideas. They're actually, in my view, timeless one. And I really enjoyed being reminded about that as someone who's competed against them when reading this recent article in The Atlantic. That's what I've been thinking about I'm Scott Benedict.